This is in an effort to promote and support the country's path to stability and peace. The order will remove sanctions on Syria while maintaining sanctions on the former President Assad, his associates, human rights abusers, drug traffickers, persons linked to chemical weapons activities, ISIS and their affiliates, and Iranian proxies.
So this is a big deal in the Middle East shaping up. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt laying it out, explaining the impact of President Trump's decision to lift most of the U.S. sanctions on Syria. The president signing executive order yesterday to make good on a promise that he made to the country's new leader back in May. Dan Hoffman, former CIA station chief, Fox News contributor. And Dan, good morning to you. Let's get to this topic now. Something else, all right? So here is what the president has suggested to the Syrian president last. By the way, let me read them first. Sign the Abraham Accords with Israel. Tell the foreign terrorists to get out of Syria, deport the Palestinian terrorists, help the U.S. prevent a resurgence of ISIS, and assume responsibility for ISIS detention centers. This leader was a prisoner, essentially, of the U.S. military in Iraq not too long ago. And now he's leading this country. Now you're talking about reintegration and a reconstruction for Syria. How significant is this move as you see it?
It's significant. I'll tell you, if there's one thing that we learned back in the days when I was the chief of Middle East operations for CIA is that Syria is very much a linchpin of security in the Middle East. We'd like to see, even beyond the normalization of relations between Syria and Israel, maybe an extension of the Abraham Accords, as the president suggested. We don't want Syria once again to become a proxy terrorist state for Iran. We'd like Russia to have no more influence or military bases in Syria. And we'd like to collaborate with the Syrians on counterterrorism. Now, as you point out, this policy is not without risks. The leader of Syria, Ahmed al-Shara, was a al-Qaeda terrorist operative. And so we've got to proceed from a strategy of mistrust and verify on this one, rely on our sources on the ground and our interlocutors with the regime to confirm that they are actually pursuing interests that aren't antithetical to ours. But what I would emphasize is the last thing we need in the Middle East is another humanitarian crisis, which just creates a pool of disaffected youth in particular who are vulnerable to recruitment by terrorist groups. And so this is a chance to get around all of that with an enlightened policy. And stay tuned. We'll see how it develops in the coming months ahead.
It'd be an extraordinary thing if they signed up with the Abraham Accords. It's almost like you build this shield around Israel. You know, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, Jordan, and Syria, and maybe even Lebanon to the north. I mean, it would really be a revolution for that region. And in our lifetimes, too, we would see that. And I mean, since we've been walking this earth, Dan, Dana, me, we've all wondered, when will there ever be peace in the Middle East? Could be a big deal. We'll see if it goes that way. Earlier today on Gaza, Netanyahu's going to be at the White House on Monday. They're talking peace in Gaza. Here's what the president said a bit earlier.
Well, he's coming here. We're going to talk about a lot of things. We're going to talk about the great success we had. I mean, we had an incredible, in Iran, we had an incredible success. We're going to talk about Gaza. We want to get the rest. We got a lot of hostages back. But we're going to talk about Gaza.
Dan, what do you think? How do you lay the chances of success on this ceasefire?
I think with the United States and Israel having taken the fight to Iran so effectively and Israel having decimated Hezbollah and Hamas, we've got the best chance, arguably, we may ever have had to achieve peace. And the president's vision certainly is focused on trade and increasing the livelihoods of, making the livelihoods of the residents there and better. The challenge we face is that Hamas is pretty intractable. They want a ceasefire and they want full Israeli withdrawal from Gaza Strip so that they could reconstitute. Now, Hamas is pretty close to being a spent force. Israel has decapitated their leadership, but leaving Gaza to its own devices is not an option. So I expect the president to discuss with Prime Minister Netanyahu what the day after might look like, what sort of a deal we might be able to reach, and maybe involve some of those Arab countries, particularly Saudi Arabia, that has said there won't be a Saudi participation in Abraham Accords unless there's a resolution and a Palestinian state of some sort. So I think that's what's on the president's plate next week when he meets with Netanyahu.
Okay. Dan, thanks for coming on today. It's always great to get your perspective, and we'll hope for the best on both fronts. We shall see. You too, Dan. Thank you.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.